Hey everyone, so this is a special video that I'm making tonight. This is a welcome back to the Dentist Invest community beginning in the year 2023. I can't believe this. I'm shooting this video as of the 2nd of January 2023, and this year I will be taking Dentist Invest to new heights, creating lots of new content. I'm really excited to see where the journey goes. 2022 was a flipping amazing year, so looking forward to building on that in 2023. And what I'm going to talk about today is how any dentist can make more money really easily just by looking in the right places. What are the fundamentals and the philosophy of making more cash? Where should we look in order to do that? And how can we achieve this? How can we attain this easily? And here's the thing, it's not about making more money just so we can be like this, pretend we got loads of cash like Puff Daddy or something like that. Actually, in reality, the thing that holds you back from acquiring or attaining the life that you want is often money. And here's how we can illustrate that for 99.9% of people. Here's how we can illustrate that. Ask yourself, if you had £1 million, if you could earn £1 million in a day, what would you change about your life? And if your life would look different, then actually what we've realized is that the barrier there is money from you having your current life, the barrier from you having the life that you want versus your current life. Because if you had £1 million and then all of a sudden you went to work, you would only go to work for 2 days a week, 1 day a week, 3 days a week versus whatever it is that you do presently, then we know that money is the factor, the reason why you don't do that. So the reason why you spend those extra few days a week in work is to acquire more money. Therefore, if you had more money, you might still work or you may not work, either is fine. But here's the thing, you would definitely change. Now, here's the thing, you may also get £1 million and you might change nothing about your life. You might continue to work 5 days a week because you love dentistry that much. That's fine. From having this conversation with dentists 1,000 times over, almost always people would change their lives whenever they had that level of money. So whilst it might not be very likely that we can earn £1 million tomorrow, certainly if we earn more money tomorrow, we're getting closer to that reality that we want. So how can we do that? So quite often, whenever it comes to earning more money, people make the mistake of thinking that you have to work harder. That applies to a point. Don't get me wrong, you have to work very hard at some stage in order to acquire the skills and knowledge that you need to generate more wealth. After that, it's about being efficient, about being more efficient. How can we do that? That's the question. So one of the best ways that you can increase your revenue is to become very good at providing the patient value. So what value am I talking about? Naturally, our technical work, the clinical work is part of that. How we speak to patients, how we talk to them, how we communicate, the setting of the surgery, the staff that we have around us, how we describe the treatments that we're about to undertake. That's the main thing, how good our description is, i.e. selling. That's pretty much the main thing that determines the level of remuneration we receive as dentists. So when we become extremely good at communicating, we also see our remuneration rise. Personal growth precedes financial growth 1000%. Often you'll find that dentists' technical ability is really good. However, their ability to describe how good the value is that they're giving the patient is not quite to that level. So it's just about building that skill set, building those techniques. And then what it means is you can generate more revenue. But of course, you always have to be honest. Whatever you ask the patient to invest, whatever figure, whatever sum, you have to be able to give them more back on the back end whenever you treat them. Whatever they receive from you has to be greater in value versus what they pay you. And the reason for that is you'll always have happy patients. Happy patients means that you will have a happy bank of repeat patients who will come back to see you, plus they'll spread the word. You'll get business by word of mouth. Plus, as well as that, it's an honesty thing and an integrity thing as well. That's absolutely where you want to be sitting whenever it comes to your finances. That means that you can quite literally generate more money tomorrow via this technique. Now, here's the thing, that might sound obvious. However, probably about 95% of dentists that I talk to, they know that they can make more via this method, yet they don't always realize that that is an opportunity that is waiting for them. That is a huge thing. This is one of the easiest ways that you can make more. But of course, you always have to be honest. Always, 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 always honest. So sales, 100%. Definitely having a good understanding of how much money is coming into your account, where you are losing money, as in spending it on things that you don't need. That is a huge thing. Subscriptions that you forgot about, accounts that you don't use anymore, bills that you don't bills for things that you don't even own anymore. How those are all things that we should be looking at in order to save more money. It's exactly the same amount of effort in our life. However, it means that we make more money. 100% having a decent accountant look over your books is worthwhile. Chances are you could save some wealth. If you've already done that, then fair enough. A decent specialist dental accountant. Now, when we say specialist dental accountant, there's lots of accountants out there that claim to be accountants, which are specialists, that claim to be individuals who deal solely with the dental industry and are very experienced. However, it's not a protected title like in our profession. So what that means is that they don't always necessarily, there's no minimum bar of experience that one has to adhere to in order to proclaim themselves as that title. So just bear that in mind. Go to someone with a really good reputation who knows their stuff. Fourth thing, another way that anybody can make more money is start some sort of business. That can be inside or outside of dentistry. You know, everybody thinks that in order to create a side gig or to create some sort of business, we need to have money. Actually, I bet you 1000% that virtually everybody watching this webinar tonight will have something in their head that they can teach to someone else, which is worth money. If you're really good at ortho, what's to stop you going to your friend who's not as good at ortho? I'll come to your clinic and I'll help you do cases, and I'll also analyze your cases on the back end. I'll give you insight. I'll tell you whether or not it's a good idea, and I'll also hold your hand and show you step by step how to undertake them. And for that, I'm going to charge you £1,000 for a month. Most people would say, yeah, hell yeah, because what that means is that you'll be able to make them £1,000 worth of value. The mindset is that actually, in actual fact, it's your duty to go and help those people, because what that means is that person will become significantly better at ortho by default, by proxy to you, because you've helped them. There's a business right there. That didn't cost you a penny to set up. And then what that means is that you can literally create a side gig instantly. Yeah. And you know what? Serve that person so well, give them so much value that the next person you charge them a little more, because now you recognize how much more value you're giving them. And then so a side gig has just begun. And what you do is you lecture and you help people on the side who want to become better at ortho. And as the word spreads of how good you are and your ability, then it becomes even more business, and it snowballs and it snowballs and it snowballs, and you just do it here, or you can just do it here and there, however that looks for you. Someone said a really wise piece of wisdom to me once, and they said, design your ideal life. How does your ideal life look in terms of a work-life balance? Then work backwards from that to create your business. Use your business to facilitate the ideal life, which is not something that everybody realizes. Everybody thinks that you have to go through a huge amount of self-sacrifice to start a business. And you know what? It depends what you're trying to do. It depends where you want to go. However, it's not always necessary. It can be quite easy to do that. The one trick is mindset and realizing that that is something that's possible. And also having the ability to value yourself enough to go up to someone and say, hey, I'm going to give you so much. I'm going to give you so much. It's insane. I'm going to give you £10,000 worth of value. And all I ask is £1,000 in return. Which person would not make that investment? They'll see it really fast, particularly if you can help them with your cases. It doesn't have to be in dentistry. It can be outside of dentistry as well. It can be some other skill that you have. Content is definitely the game whenever it comes to creating a business. The more content that you put out online is the more opportunities that come your way. Plus you gain the skill of making content as well. Things to think about. Also, another way that anybody can make money, a fifth way, is to have some sort of affiliate or person that you help or work for. If you chat to a lot of people and they all share the same pain point, they all share the same thing that they need help with, why not find somebody who's reputable in the industry that does help them, and then refer a ton of people to them and ask for a percentage. Try to get a recurring percentage if you can, because what it means is that your returns compound. That's an awesome thing to do. And then what that means is that you can build a business by proxy to someone else's business. There's an opportunity right there to make money. Another way to make money, if you have a pile of cash lying around that you don't need, it's way above your emergency fund and it's just sat there dormant, not doing anything, then find a home for it. That's what investing is. It's basically taking that wealth and putting it somewhere that will generate you a residual income, however that looks. There's 4 different types of assets. I made a video on this a while back. Lifestyle assets, cash flow assets, business assets, and growth assets. One of those assets will contain the answer for you and what you're trying to achieve with that spare cash that you have. The only issue is with leaving huge amounts of spare cash lying around is that the government is literally picking your pocket and taking that wealth back from you consistently. So when you're in that position, what it means is it's as if someone has went to your rota for the year, the previous year, and starts scratching off every Friday. Imagine if you worked 5 days a week all year. Then at the end of the year, someone said, actually, I'm going to consider this. I'm going to consider it that you have not worked any Friday in retrospect. So what it means is you have to give me all the cash back that you earned on a Friday for the whole of the year. No one would ever stand for that. Yet that's pretty much what inflation is. If inflation is 20%, then you lose 1/5 of the wealth that you generated that year when it's stored in cash. Now, thankfully, it's not quite as high as 20%. Recently, it's been 10. That was the government's figures, and we know that they quite often massage those figures to downplay them versus what they actually are. Therefore, in likelihood, it's probably much more than that. So just something to be conscious of when you're educated on the methods that you need to know to invest. And what it means is you can protect yourself against it. That's actually the first point or principle of investing. That's actually the real primary purpose, not to be offensive, to go out there and be aggressively growing your wealth. It's actually to protect your wealth. It's a defensive thing. Those are 6 ways that any dentist can use to make more money. Tied up in there are the answers to generating more wealth in 2023, particularly if you're someone out there who's feeling a little bit of a squeeze in a minute, what with the current crisis, the energy crisis, and the rate of inflation that we have at the minute. It's a lot, it's high, and certainly more cash can help. Those are the means that you can use to overcome that. Chances are it won't lie within investing specifically, as in what I mean is purchasing stocks and bonds within your ISAs or your pensions. The reason is the idea is that we're supposed to leave those assets for a long time to compound and mature, whereas this is very much a cash flow webinar. This is very much a lecture on cash flow and how you can increase that. So if you use those things that I said, I promise you those 6 things are extremely powerful. Those are 6 places to look to begin building more wealth tomorrow. Hope everybody enjoyed this webinar. Wishing everybody an amazing 2023, and I'm looking forward to so much more content on the Dentist Who Invest Facebook group for the remainder of the year. See you all later. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll chat soon.